Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin the council meeting for December 13th, 2021. If you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, roll call, please.
Certainly, Mr. President. Mr. Delaney? Here. Mr. Dern?
Here.
Mr. Doyle?
Here.
Mr. Hadley? Here. Mr. Odom?
Present.
Mr. Pastor?
Here.
Mr. Vento?
Here.
Mayor Schlegel?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Motion to approve the Treasurer's Report for the month of November.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dern.
Second.
Second by Mr. Doyle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the expenses for the month of November.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Doyle, second by Mr. Dern. Mr. Thomas, if you would, please.
Certainly. General fund payables for the month of December. Payables requiring council approval, $398,704.51. Street.
Only the mayor.
Oh, man.
Proceed, sir.
Pull it together, Mike. See if I can get this back together here. Street improvement funds. Street improvement fund. Really?
Thought we were trying to get out of here early.
Yeah, exactly. Street improvement fund. Payables requiring council approval, $7,752.61. Fire fund payables requiring council approval, $21,297.92. Debt service fund payables requiring council approval, $86,150. Capital improvement fund payables requiring council approval, $17,352.37. Flood mitigation fund payables requiring council approval, $26,063.65. Emergency medical services fund payables requiring council approval, $3,283.46. 2019 bond payables requiring council approval, $486,048.68. Purchasing card direct vendor payments, Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill, $167,440.10. Miscellaneous borough purchases of $139.57. Total payables to be approved, $1,214,232.87. Excuse me.
Having received a motion and a second, accompanied by a rustling of a bag of jalapeno chips, would you vote to approve the expenses for the month of November? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the November 8th council meeting minutes.
Second. Or I'll make the motion, I'm sorry.
Motion
Second.
by Mr. Hadley.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Vento. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Recognition of achievements in the community. Mayor Schlegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, I am honored because I have two. And the first one goes to a person who has not only put forth the effort, but he put forth the time and the hard work that it takes to achieve this level. Mr. Caruso, would you come up, sir? You're welcome, sir. My honor.
Thank you, Council. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time you're giving me. My name is Michael Caruso, and I'm the owner of ATA Martial Arts in Murraysville, PA. And it's very exciting that I've had to be able to take on two distinguished residents here in Plum Boro, a father and son team. And both of these two gentlemen have acquired the rank of black belt. It's taken about 3 years, not only to move to the level of black belt, but they're athletes in the field of competition. These two gentlemen have competed in state, district, and national champ, and I couldn't be more proud of them. So I would like to read a certificate in their honor from the American Taekwondo Association, black belt certificate, to Mr. Noah Odom. From this day forth, you have been entrusted with the rank of first-degree black belt, an achievement made only through your personal sacrifice and effort. You have proven yourself before the ATA Board of Examiners and are hereby entitled to all privileges of that said rank. The black belt level is a new saga, a new beginning, by which you will advance to new levels of skill and accomplishment in Songnam Taekwondo. Here's where a true martial artist thrives and begins their new journey, one of planting seeds for the future. Congratulations to Mr. Noah Odom. Noah, would you step forward? And I understand they have a Christmas party to get to, so I'll keep it short. Ditto the same thing for his fine father, Mr. Dave Odom, President of the Council. Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions for this young man? He's really good at what he does, and so does his
He
father.
doesn't have a short temper, does he?
No, they're very humble. So, ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you so much for the time you gave me. Enjoy your party tonight. Thanks for
thank
all
you.
you do in
Thank
Plum.
you so
Appreciate you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, father and son.
And the second one I have is a certificate of achievement presented to David Odom. Whereas, service to others is a hallmark of the American character and central to how we meet our goals. And whereas, volunteering of an individual's time and resources are an essential part of the American spirit. And whereas, it is even more in evidence that Plum Boro's greatest natural resource is in its people. And whereas, David Odom is a shining example of this resource. And whereas, David unselfishly volunteers his time and talents by serving on the Plum Boro Council from 2018 to 2022, and as president of council from 2020 to 2022. And whereas, David exemplifies the volunteer spirit that helped to build Plum Boro and demonstrated that it is alive and strong today. And whereas, each year, many citizens commit their time and talents to improve the quality of life for our entire community, few achieve the degree of service and commitment demonstrated by David Odom. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor, council, and the citizens of Plum Boro wish to honor and thank Dave Odom for his wholehearted devotion to Plum Boro by sharing his time, his energy, his knowledge, and his leadership ability in serving and improving our community, and wish him well. And it is also our sincere wish that he again donates his time and talents by seeking election to council in 2023. In so doing, I, Harry R. Schlegel, Mayor, call upon all citizens to help to renew and sustain the American spirit demonstrated by David Odom in emulating his example and committing themselves to address the needs of Plum Boro through voluntary action and service to our community. David?
I don't want to put a
And that's
cap
all I
on-
have,
I
sir.
don't want to put a cap on this, but, you know, Dave used to have no gray hair when he started.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everyone, for the recognition. It's definitely well appreciated. Moving on with our agenda, civic announcements.
Good evening, everyone. I want to let you know about a great program we've been doing at the library. There was a fantastic article in the Advanced Leader about it. We've been partnering with 412 Food Rescue and the Plum School District to get extra food that they no longer need and distribute it to people in our that come through the library or just anyone who walks in our lobby. We have extra milk and juice and sometimes apples and applesauce, and it's been a great program, and we have about 30 people a week on average that just come in. We have it refrigerator bags. People just come, take what they need, and we've heard really great response. Some people who just need a thing of juice who might not be able to afford it to take medicine with, so we've been really great. This program's been really greatly received, and we're really thankful for our partners with the school district and 412 Food Rescue. We just started it, and we're excited to see what the next year holds for it. So And I just wanted to let everyone know that, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Evening, Karen.
Good evening, good evening. I'm Karen Hochberg from the Plum Senior Center. We too are partnering with 412 Food Rescue, and they drop off meat and vegetables, and Tony manages that because we can be overrun with food. But some of the seniors have really benefited from the vegetables and the meat that we're giving out, so that's great. The other thing I want to highlight is I want to thank the council and the Plum employees for Plum Creek Christmas again. We always enjoy that. It's a wonderful time for us. We like being in the booth, and we want to remind everybody that from now until January 2nd, we're part of the Share the Love, the Subaru Share the Love. So if anybody in the community buys a new Subaru, please select Meals on Wheels as your charity, and that's a nice fundraiser for us each year. And the last thing I have is we're still trying to build that Monday bingo. We have a Monday afternoon bingo. That we have a $25 jackpot. It's $10 to play. Anybody sitting at home on a Monday afternoon that wants to come up and have fun playing bingo, Keith Nowak is our new caller, so he brings an excitement to it as well.
I'll be there.
Yeah, there you go, right? Exactly. So anyway, Monday afternoons, it's kind of fun. So would like you to come and join us on Mondays. And happy holidays to everyone in Plum, and thank you.
Okay, any other civic announcements? Okay, moving on to our agenda, President's comments. So I did want to provide a brief overview of the December 9th meeting of the Stormwater Task Force. We met and discussed the status of the long-term solutions. We actually came up with a new format in order to report out the milestones associated with the long-term projects, both Center Beach and O-Block. The task force members indicated that due to the long time frame for completion of those projects, that we also have KU Resources begin to document the status of our inactive long-term projects, both College Avenue and Anderson Avenue using the same format. So I think once individuals see the new meeting minutes that are posted on the website, you'll be able to take a look at the very end and see the format that we have the status of the long-term projects in. Some of the other items that we discussed is relative to a number of the items that we received in the form of emails sent to the Stormwater Task Force and discussing the resolution of the various items that were submitted to us by residents. The bulk of the meeting was spent reviewing the status of the MS4 2020 inspection report and the 2021 MS4 report. For those of you who don't know, that's a very significant program that's being managed by a company called Herbert Rowland and Grubik. HRGs is what we refer to them as. And we had a representative, Jana, come and provide an overview of the program to include all the major tenets of the MS4 program that's currently being done in the borough, as well as information associated with providing an update on the various violations that were received in the 2020 MS4 report, and to make sure that we're getting those items resolved based on being able to manage the program in accordance with the requirements of the state. So again, a lot of good information that went out. Some of the discussions that we had, I think, are really trending in a positive direction with respect to the work that's being done and the improvements that we have in that area. So it was definitely well received by members of the task force. We also discussed task force membership changes. Given that I'll no longer be a member of council effective January 1st, I am requesting to remain on the task force to serve as the chairperson. And so task force members all unanimously concurred with that direction, and so I'll be requesting council formally approve me to be added as a member of the task force during the January 2022 voting meeting. And the next scheduled meeting of the task force is tentatively scheduled for February 24th. And then the last item that I wanted to cover really involves being able to provide some of my personal statements relative to my departure from council. Again, mayor, members of council, borough staff, I do really appreciate what was read today and what was provided to me. It's definitely something that I appreciate. But I do want to also offer some other thanks to individuals who I've been able to be involved with over the course of my 4 years on council. First and foremost, I want to thank Dave Vento and his wife Cindy. They were instrumental in encouraging me to run for public office and provided critical assistance during my initial campaign. And for that, I'm truly grateful. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome, most welcome.
I'd also like to thank some of the other councilmen that I previously served with, some who are no longer on council, but are certainly not forgotten. I'm referring to Dave Seitz, Dave Majernik, and John Anderson. Thank you, gentlemen, for assisting me my first 2 years on council. Your professionalism and friendship are greatly appreciated. To Mike Doyle. Sir, you were the first person on council to call me, to offer not only a statement of congratulations, but an extension of welcome to the brethren of elected officials. You put partisan politics aside and gave me an opportunity not only to contribute, but develop into a productive member of this council. Furthermore, you supported my nomination as council president and were always there to provide meaningful mentorship based on your years of experience. You could have handled this using the senseless, politically motivated behavior that we see played out in Washington, but you, sir, did not. And that is leadership. Thank you. Paul Dern, thank you for providing the fire and emotion that demonstrated to me what it really means to care about this community. It'd be difficult for anybody to find someone who cares as much about this community as Paul. You, sir, are a rare breed, and I thank you for the common sense approach you have taken to being an elected official the entire time I've spent with you on council. I'll never forget just a week ago at the Christmas at Plum Creek event, after your Oscar-winning performance as the Grinch. We were at the pavilion watching kids dance feverishly on stage to Christmas music, and you said, "Hey, this is what it's about." And you're right, Paul. Thank you for allowing me to see that moment and to not miss it.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Mayor Slagle. Harry, where do I begin? I think I could sum it up by saying to you what I've said to so many. That's just Harry being Harry. That's just that old Marine being a devil dog. Thank you as well for your patience in many topics, even when we agreed to disagree. I'll say it's just a sailor and a Marine trying to outdo one another. Thank you, sir, for bringing the spirit of the Corps. Semper Fidelis.
Semper Fi.
To members of the borough staff, I can't possibly name them all, but Mike Thomas, Chief Conley, Mona, Maria, Dave, Jason, Mike Whitico, and so many others. All of you personify these three words: dedication, perseverance, and excellence. Thank you all for not only the countless hours spent helping me learn what it is that you do so well, but thank you for simply being the best. From the administrative staff to the police force to our public works crew, you are all a stellar group of individuals that I have had the pleasure and honor to work with these last 4 years. To my family, special thanks to my wife Charmaine, who is truly the wind beneath my wings, supporting me as I spent countless hours working within my community and being that stable presence in my life that I can always count on. It has been said that behind every man is a good woman, but I want everyone to know that I've got a great one. Thank you all for what you do, and a special thanks to Noah and Nicholas for sharing their dad. Finally, to the residents of Plum, you're the reason why I decided to serve, and I thank you for trusting me to do so. I hope that I've served the community well these last 4 years, and hope to do so again in the future. God bless to you all. This is the best community, and I'm proud to say I live in Plum Boro, and have been honored to serve as an elected official. And this concludes my president's comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Citizen comments on agenda items. I don't believe we had any sign up, so moving on to council actions. On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, Mr. Vento.
Thank you, President Odom. On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to approve the Twyla Consolidation Plan, FSC 0721, located at 1175 Renton Road, 971-C-107, contingent upon the final review and approval of the borough engineer.
Motion by Mr. Vento.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hadley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to accept the Parco Consolidation Plan, FSC 0921, located at 5068 Sardis Road, 847-M-184, as complete.
Motion by Mr. Vento.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to accept the Nancy 1 Consolidation Plan, FSC 08-21, located at 109 Elwood Avenue, 738A 367, as complete.
Motion by Mr. Vento.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hadley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to adopt Resolution 915-21, declaring the properties to be demolished through the CDBG grant as blighted.
We have a motion by Mr. Vento.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to approve a 2-year agreement with Bureau Veritas for building inspection/plan review services as presented beginning in 2022, pending our solicitor's final review.
Motion by Mr. Vento.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pastor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Vento. On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, Mr. Hadley.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to approve Resolution 916-21, authorizing the borough to purchase employee supplemental insurance.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to table this agenda item.
Motion to table an item by Mr. Hadley.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to make an offer of conditional employment to Cody Salke as an entry-level police officer.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Vento. All those in favor?
Aye.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you for
Welcome
coming.
aboard, sir.
Congratulations.
board.
Plum Boro.
Welcome to the team.
Wow. Good to have you.
On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to accept a lawsuit settlement offer with Edmund Cruz as presented.
Motion by Mr. Hadley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Doyle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, on behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to table this agenda item as well.
Move to table an agenda item by Mr. Hadley.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Vento. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that is
Thank
all,
you.
Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. On behalf of the Finance Committee, Mr. Doyle.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the committee, I move to approve Act 172 Firefighters Tax Forgiveness List for 2021.
Motion by Mr. Doyle.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Also, on behalf of the committee, I move to enact ordinance number 958-21, establishing the 2022 local service tax rate.
Motion by Mr. Doyle.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Vento. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to enact ordinance number 959-21, establishing the 2022 earned income tax rate.
Motion by Mr. Doyle.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hadley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to adopt resolution number 917-21, establishing the 2022 real estate tax rate.
Motion by Mr. Doyle.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to adopt resolution number 981-21, approving the 2022 capital lease program.
Motion by Mr. Doyle.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to approve the 2021 budget fund transfers.
Motion by Mr. Doyle.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Vento. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to approve the 2022 tax tax anticipation note as presented.
Motion by Mr. Doyle,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, I move to forgive a penalty and interest for 2021 real estate taxes for a Plum resident.
Motion by Mr. Doyle,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We forget one?
You forgot the most important. Budget.
Yeah.
Budget.
Oh,
He did skip one.
We'd like to thank you for
I
that.
can't get anything by you guys, can I?
That's why we're here.
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to adopt the 2022 annual budget as presented.
Motion
kinda
by
a big
Mr.
one.
Doyle,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Vento. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'm not used to having to work that hard.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle.
Thank you, sir.
On behalf of the Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee, Mr. Pastor.
Thank you. On behalf of the Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee, I move to accept a proposal for the installation of the key fob control system for the new Borough building.
Motion by Mr. Pastor,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Doyle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the committee, I move to authorize the advertisement of an ordinance to vacate a portion of Elwood Avenue.
Motion by Mr. Pastor,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Dern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Pastor. And that concludes our council actions. Moving on with our agenda to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Odom.
Where's that bag of chips?
Here. We had No Shave November, where our officers paid $50 because department policy says they have to shave, and you can see our chief is looking a bit scruffy over there, as all of our officers are. The chief decided to extend it to include December if they paid another $50. So in November, we donated $1,100. The police department donated $1,100 to the Plum Food Bank. And this December, tonight, I'm glad to say they're donating another $1,100 to the Plum Boro Food Bank. So, to all of our officers, I thank them. And our lone female officer is not growing anything, but she decided to donate $50 as she did last month as well. So it's No Shave December. Are we doing a No Shave January, Chief? I agree to let the officers do that for free for all the participation. So they will shave again in February? That's correct. Well, I've got a picture up here of our new police officer, Officer Belton. He's kind of looking like Cruella from the 1001 Dalmatians with the black and white beard. And in November, on November 19th, officers Mike DeMarco, Crystal Iacchini, and Eric Belton, Cruella, participated in the Allegheny County Community and Police Together by going to Walmart. The North for Sales Walmart donated $4,000 worth of toys to the Stuff a Store program. And our officers did some shopping and then transported those toys up to Monroeville for the Stuff a Store. And during November, our officers donated toys to that same event. They collected gifts and personally delivered the gifts to the families in need. And I wish to thank all of the officers involved in that effort. Thank you. On November 9th, Nell Carter of the Shekinah Tabernacle came to the police department to deliver thank you cards for the officers. Mrs. Carter wanted the officers to know that her church is praying for all the police officers in the area. Once again in November, Pat instead Kazmarski delivered a cake for our officers on Veterans Day. And once again, the mayor did not get an invite. Pat and Stead are extremely thoughtful and continue to show their appreciation to our officers. On November 23rd, William Jesscoat of the United States Marine Corps donated 2 large bags of stuffed animals to be donated to the Toys for Tots program. And on Thanksgiving Day, Chief Jim Sims of the Holiday Park Fire Department invited our officers to have breakfast at the Holiday Park Fire Department, and officers were able to partake in a hot meal with their fellow first responders. And on Thanksgiving Day, David Johnson of D. Johnson Erie Insurance Company once again provided Thanksgiving dinner for our police department and he's done that for over 10 years. Even during the busy holiday season, David remembered our police department on Thanksgiving Day. He provided two complete turkey dinners with side dishes and dessert. The chief says he's worked his share of Thanksgivings over the years, and I know he appreciates David's thoughtfulness and recognition of our police officers during the holidays. And on November 29th, Mark Reed, and I've said this every month, has continued his support of our police department by providing a monthly birthday cake to the department in recognition of all those officers celebrating their birthdays who fall in November. And everyone appreciates Mark's support. Mr. President, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to committee reports. The Intergovernmental Cooperative Committee with the Plum School District. We did not have anyone contact us regarding any requests for meetings. So we'll move on to the Finance Committee. Mr. Doyle.
Thank you, Mr. President. General fund highlights for the month of November 2021. The borough recognized revenues totaling $1,207,171 and incurred expenditures in the amount of $304,301. Regarding those revenues, current year real estate taxes are presently at 98% of budget, and we have received approximately $4.15 million through the month of November. To date, we have received $3.73 million in current year's earned income tax revenues, and this represents 95% of the adopted budget. The cable TV franchise revenue line received the fourth quarter payments from Verizon and Comcast. A total of $145,936,000 was booked, and we will end the year approximately $8,000 under budget. The regional asset district funding will finish the year above budget, and we have received $669,490 through the reporting period. Overall, the budget has recorded $13.2 million in revenues, and we are trending to the end of the year over budget. Regarding the expenditures through the month of November, the borough has expended 85% of the budget, which is an equivalent of $11.68 million. From a departmental standpoint, we have no current budget concerns, and overall expenditures are tracking below budget. The borough will soon be notified by our independent auditor when the 2021 interim audit field work will begin. All field work is normally completed by the end of January. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Roads, Equipment, and Grounds, Mr. Pastor.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. I'll keep it short and sweet here. I know we got a party to go to, but project reports for the month of November. Sorry, my time, what's going on? The Center New Texas Culvert Project has started and should be completed early this month. We've completed inlet repairs and pipe crossing on Kelly Ridge Road. There were several sinkholes reported and filled with stone and fenced for safety concerns. Due to the time of the year, these won't be addressed until next year. Leaf collection has wrapped up December 3rd, and we've installed 21 tons of asphalt on various projects. And this being my final council meeting, I just wanted to convey my appreciation. I want to thank the borough staff for all that you do. Mr. Thomas, Mr. Zabosley, Mr. Mugley, Mr. Whitico, Maria, Mona, and everybody else, thank you so much for all you do. Mr. Maital, Mr. Dice, thank you for your counsel. And Mr. Odom and Mr. Doyle, thank you for your leadership over the last 4 years. Special thanks to Mr. Schlegel, Mayor, thank you, and Chief Conley and Brian Maloney, thank you for keeping this community safe. I'm deeply honored that I got to serve this community for the last 4 years, and I thank you guys, everyone on council, to making this borough all it can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety, Mr. Dern.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. First off, I would like to thank you. It's been my pleasure to serve with you on the Stormwater Task Force, and also with the 2 meetings we've had so far with the injection wells going on. You are truly an asset, and it's been a pleasure to serve with you, and I hope that you continue to do that, because you're more than welcome to do it, and you are a true asset. So it's been nice.
Thank you.
We miss you. Getting on with my report. First off, we do have an ordinance in the borough about house numbers. And it's been brought to my attention that a lot of houses aren't following that directive. So please be aware that your house numbers need to be clearly marked and easily seen, especially at night. If you're expecting an ambulance or the police or the fire department for something, and if they can't see your house numbers, you're going to waste valuable time, and it's your time that may be an issue. So please, walk outside, take a look at your house numbers, and if you can't see them in the dark, in an emergency situation, the ambulance, the police, the fire department aren't going to be able to see them either. So I don't want to see valuable time wasted, them looking for numbers when they could be at your house doing what needs done. Second off, the police department participated in the Stuff a Bus event on December 8th, and the Stuff a Bus collected over 2,100 toys. And that was enough to fill an ambulance floor to ceiling. And the thanks go out to the Holiday Park Volunteer Fire Department, the Holiday Park Volunteer Fire Department Bingo Team, the Plum Police Department, the Plum Administration Team, staff and residents of Longwood, staff of Hannah Healthcare Center at Longwood in Plum Boro, Renton Volunteer Fire Department, and Plum EMS. And that concludes my report, but I'm going to have Mr. Maloney come up and read the EMS monthly report. Brian.
All right, excellent, thank you. Brian Maloney, Director of Operations, Plum EMS. You certainly stole the story with that Stuff a Bus event. Working with all the different departments, it was one of those amazing things. We had that opportunity where all these toys started showing up, and I truly felt like a kid as they kept giving me toys after toys, and we literally, from the floor to ceiling, just under 6 feet, just stuffed with that ambulance. We had over 800 toys collected.
They're not for
everybody
you.
went above and beyond, and I can't speak highly enough to see such a sense of community come together and work to make that happen. So hands down to everybody who did participated in that, because last year it was waist deep. And so next year, 2 trucks. And so we're really going to do a push for that, and so thank you. But for the month of November, we actually had a busy month. We ran 247 calls where we transported 168 of those patients. And we ended up going into neighboring communities 27 times, with 24 of those resulting in a transport as well. And we ended up needing mutual aid in the Plum, and our neighboring agencies helping us 9 times. So that's 4% of the times of all emergency calls that we had to get our neighboring agencies, but we had somebody there. The crews, they work incredibly hard as they transport that patient to the hospital, transfer them over and transfer care, and get back into service. There's not many agencies that I've been a part of that I've seen this on just a regular basis. So it's some of the best. I always, when I show up on scene to help out, I always tell people, these 2 people are the best crew members this side of the Mississippi, and I'm not lying. They're some of the best that work at Plum EMS. But yeah, once again, November, fun month with everything that we did. So I appreciate it. And Mr. Odom, thank you for everything. Incredible leadership, and I hope to see more of you. So any questions, comments, stories that make me smile?
Those toys aren't for you.
That's right.
Hey, the football is ready, so thank you very much.
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. Planning and Economic Development, Mr. Vento.
Thank you, President Odom. The Planning and Economic Development Report for November is as follows. There were 224 permits issued and $18,233.50 in review. The Planning Commission did not meet in November. The Zoning Hearing Board met on November 17th and reviewed the following application. Now, I'm not sure if this is a conflict for Mr. Odom, you'll have to tell me, but an appeal of a zoning enforcement notice by Claude Odom, owner of 37 Aloha Road, zoned SR Single Family Residential. The Zoning Hearing Board ruled that the applicant was not running a business out of his house.
No relation.
Good to know. I was afraid to ask you. Activity summary highlights. Continued working on grant applications. They received word that the borough's grant application for Renton Park Phase 3 in the amount of $81,000 was funded. Engineering and design work will begin on Phase 3 in 2022, with the construction slated for 2023. GIS work. They mapped outfalls, which are observation points are in Surfside, Key West, Mount Hood, O-Block, and the Unity Center Road Bridge area. Worked on formatting issues in Excel caused by a recent update. Staff attended a hearing at the magistrate's office, which I think they have to do regularly now. They probably have for a long time. Performed a follow-up site inspection at Aroma Joe's on Golden Mile Highway. A final occupancy permit was issued, and the coffee's good. Stop out. Code enforcement addressed complaints concerning abandoned vehicles, junk, and debris, high grass and weeds, and garbage cans. Responded to call for a vehicle into a residence in Serenity Ridge. Completed 201 residential occupancy inspections. Attended a Christmas at Plum Creek planning meetings, which I'm sure there were many. It was a great event. Met with the Allegheny County Conservation District to discuss and tour the area around the new Unity Center Road Bridge. Processed and evaluated a number of consolidation plans submitted during the month. Created maps and documents related to the proposed vacation of Elwood Avenue. Staff met to discuss and start creating documentation for an upcoming zoning amendment. That's the end of my report, but I would also personally like to thank Dave Odom for his leadership on the council. As someone who was a president myself, although short term, only 1 year, it's a daunting thing, especially that first meeting, when all of a sudden you get a little tongue-tied. No, I did. I think it was Doyle that said, "Well, it's yours now." He said to me like that. So, and that's the truth. All of you've got to ask what worry about what you ask for, because you just might get it. So you did a terrific job, professional the whole way. And I think Mr. Doyle, if he comes back, you're just a little better than he was. So
I would agree with that, Mr.
he has to. You're good, Mike, but I think he one-upped you. So my personal thanks to Dave for just his steady leadership and kept me in check sometimes when I didn't want to be. So thank you very much for that. And I'd also like to wish the community Merry Christmas, and anybody that doesn't celebrate Christmas, Happy Holidays. That's all. End of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Vento. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Delaney.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have much of a report tonight. The biggest thing I want to do is give a big shout out and a thank you to the entire borough staff. Mike, Mona, you guys did an incredible job with the Christmas at Plum Creek. I was on COVID quarantine. I didn't get to make it. I keep hearing about all the fun. I keep having residents come up to me and tell me how great it is. Just burns it a little bit more that I wasn't able to partake with you guys, especially missing the awesome performance of the Grinch over there and DJ Diamond Dave.
I changed his name to Disco Diamond
Disco
Dave.
Diamond Dave. It sounds like you guys had an amazing time, and it's something the residents really enjoyed. I've been told it was the best event at Plum Creek yet. And like my fellow councilman, I just want to thank Mr. Odom for his service on council. I know being a newbie and the young guy of the bunch, your leadership, your resolve, your willingness to work with all parties from all sides has just been incredible. I couldn't think of anybody else that could have led us through this crazy pandemic the way you did. You've definitely made changes and done things that I think on council that are going to last for a long time. And I think that's the bar that we should all set for ourselves. And I hope you're interested in coming back and trying again here in a few years. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. The Planning Commission will not meet in December. And now we move on to our last item on the agenda, citizen comments on non-agenda items. We didn't have anyone sign up, but that certainly doesn't preclude anyone from coming up if they'd like to address council. Okay, seeing none, before we adjourn, I would like to wish everyone in the community Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and we definitely pray that you will have a wonderful time with your family and your friends, and we look forward to seeing you all next year. With that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Now, before I make that motion, I would also like to echo what everybody else is saying about your service these last 4 years, especially the last 2 as president. Dave Vento alluded to it. There's a lot more to being president than just sitting in that chair and running the meeting. And I got to say, Dave, kudos. Did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And with that, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are adjourned.